So get this, over 1,000, that is 1,000 teenagers give birth in the U.S. every day. It's startling. That's a big number. However, teen births are actually declining. Recently, fewer teenagers give birth, that is in 2010, than any year since 1946. Here with me is Lisa Ling, host of Our America with Lisa Ling on the OWN network. She has a new documentary. It is called Teen Mom Nation. It is airing Tuesday, June 26th, 10 p.m. Eastern. And this is a topic I have been fighting and dealing with for 20 years. This show profiles 4 teen girls struggling with life-changing decisions on how to handle their pregnancies. Take a look.
Do you feel like you're having to give up your life in a way?
Nope.
You're so young.
My life just begun. It's not like just because you have a baby, you're stuck. Life is over. No. I can still do like what I want to do. Who's stopping me?
Lisa, what made you decide to do this topic now?
Well, by the way, the woman you were just hearing from, she had not given birth to her baby yet, so
Yes.
she was still very ambitious about what she thought she would be able to do.
Before you answer that question, let me just say, this is what we always see with the teen moms. The fantasy of being a teen mom is far different than the reality.
That's right.
The
Having
reality,
someone to love and who needs them and provides unconditional love, absolutely.
Instead, and the data bears this out, their lives come crashing down. They don't finish high school, they're unemployed, they're on welfare or some sort of government assistance. Yeah. That's the data.
Yeah, and what drew us to this topic is, yes, the rate of teen pregnancy has declined enormously. We're at the lowest level in 40 years, but yet still we have the highest rate of teen pregnancy than anywhere else in the Western world.
Right.
As you said, 1,000 teenagers a day. And so we wanted to get a sense of what it's like to live in the shoes of these young women who are dealing with having children so young.
Did you learn something specific from this?
I did. The teenagers we spent time with were very, very candid. One of them, who had given birth to 2 babies, said that she...
Wait a minute, like twins, or you mean one after the other?
No, one after another. And that statistic is actually very pervasive.
Yeah.
1 in 4 teenagers will give birth to a second child within 2 years, according to stats. But she said that one of the reasons why she didn't take birth control was everyone talked about how you get fat.
We are now also joined by Sophie, one of the teens profiled in the documentary. Sophie was 16 when she got pregnant and decided to, now there's a language in here, it said, give up her child for adoption. Adoption advocates hate it when you say that.
Right. Yeah.
How was that process for you? I've been through several children, young people that go through this, and it tends to be very emotional. Was it tough for you?
Well, it was tough for everybody. It was tough for my whole family, and as a teenager, you know, being thrown into such an adult problem and such a real-world problem can be very, very scary. But I mean, it's a scary experience for everybody.
Let's take a look at Sophie's story right here.
It's a pretty selfless decision that you made. What was it like to give him up for adoption?
I knew it was right, but it didn't make it hurt any less, you know. I do have the resources, I do have the family, I do have all the help in the world, but to me, it still wasn't good enough. I really felt like Ben and Katie were such amazing people that they could really step up and be the best parents I could ever imagine for him. I just felt like they were the answer.
In fact, Lisa, only 5% of teens, I think it's even lower than that, actually ever choose adoption. What would you say to kids out there? I mean, adoption is such a courageous and important choice.
It really is such a selfless decision that Sophie made, and I'm so proud of her for doing so. And I think hers is a story that we should try to promote even more. Sophie comes from a family with resources. They probably could have provided a perfectly wonderful living for Sophie's son, but Sophie knew that she wouldn't be able to devote the kind of attention that her child needed, right, and that there were people who were ready to do so. Older people who were prepared to do so, and I commend her for her maturity.
I always say, Lisa, I don't know if you feel the same way as I do, but I could not have raised a hamster at her age. I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe Sophie, you feel more ready, but the fact is, I think it's a very active parenting choice to put your child, to place your child in an environment where you know the parenting is going to be effective or complete, let's say.
Or they're ready. They're at a place in their lives where they're ready to parent a child, and Sophie wasn't.
I want to welcome in Caitlin Lowell. She is Caitlin from MTV's Teen Mom. And Caitlin, you and I have been working together for a while. You've been listening to Sophie. I know, and I think many viewers know how intense your experience was with adoption. Any advice you have for Sophie?
Well, you know, I think that as long as, you know, for me, I know what I did was right for me in that state. Like, at the time of my life, the decision was best for me. And I feel like, you know, and if you know in your heart that that was the best thing for your child, that's what I live for every day, just knowing that, you know, that was the thing that I knew was best for her, and I did it for her. So, you know, that's how it helps me. That's what helps me living every day, just me telling myself that I did what was best for her, and that's all that matters.
Sophie, are you still with the biological father of your child?
No.
And my understanding is your adoption is very open. You've been able to organize very frequent visits. Is that right?
Yeah, the relationship and the connection I have with the family is unbelievably genuine and unbelievably special. And we, you know, it takes both sides, and we both really get to, you know, have our part. And I get to see my son about once a week to a couple times a month to, I mean, it really depends sometimes that they are busy and sometimes that I have things to do. But I'm very fortunate I get to see my son a lot, yeah.
And Lisa, to wrap this up, what's the sort of takeaway for people? What are they going to learn when they watch your show?
Well, I hope they take a lot away from Sophie's story.
Yeah.
I mean, she made an incredibly, incredibly difficult decision, but one that was so selfless, and I think that everyone is going to benefit as a result. So
Yes,
I think her story is one that needs to be out there
We
more.
have got to get behind adoption. We've got to make it,
We have to promote it.
Promote it.